Welcome to the Fantasy Aceball podcast. This is your host, Tim Kanak. You can find me on X at Fantasy Aceball, and you can find my written work over on Fantasy Pros. And of course, if you're watching me on YouTube, and that channel is the Tim Kanak, Kanak. Same forwards as backwards. Yes, my last name is a palindrome. So, in this podcast, we are doing some quick hits on spring training notes. We're about halfway through spring training right now. I've been to some games. I'm going to go to some more games this weekend. I think I'm going to 3 games next weekend, even during spring breakout series. So that's going to be fun. But let's get into some of these quick hits here. I'm just going to fly through these. There's a lot of them. We're going to start at the top of the Arizona Diamondbacks. D-backs had a split game on 3-6, which is March 6th, and we're recording this on March 7th during the day. Jordan Lawler played with the A squad over the B squad, so interesting to note. However, Geraldo Perdomo played on 3-3 and 3-5, so this was maybe just a test. But when I see these split squad games, I think that tells a lot more than the non-split squad games. You usually have an A team and a B team. You just look where all the stars are playing, and that's going to kind of show you maybe who they prefer. Or maybe that's just a test for that player. I don't really know. It's spring training. Lourdes Gurriel has been hitting third a lot, with Josh Naylor hitting fourth. And Pavin Smith looks like he will end up as a bench bat, with Trey Mancini hitting. Also, he's actually doing this, and he's 4 for 10. So I don't know, Mancini on the bench, maybe. Also, with the Diamondbacks, 0 of their starters are qualified yet. 42 qualified starters right now, and 0 are Diamondbacks. Athletics of Sacramento. We had great offseason reports saying that Brent Rooker was going to be in the outfield this year and playing outfield, but he has not played in outfield all spring so far. Also, Tyler Soderstrom has started in 3 games at catcher this spring. Colby Thomas has 0 starts this spring, so that's kind of sad. Looks like maybe the main competition to Seth Brown is actually Miguel Andujar and Denzel Clark, with a little bit of Esteury Ruiz sprinkled in. So no Colby Thomas yet, I think, to start the season. Miguel Andujar and Lawrence Butler have both had strong starts. Butler is the real deal. He is actually, and he just signed too a nice contract, $66 million for Lawrence Butler. So I am all in on Lawrence Butler this season. Atlanta Braves, Jurickson Profar is expected to lead off until Ronald Acuna returns, which also means Michael Harris is probably hitting 6th. Drake Baldwin has started 2 of the last 4 games since Sean Murphy has been hurt. So Drake Baldwin, keep an eye out. Baltimore Orioles, Grayson Rodriguez, watch this injury situation. Let's see what happens with him. Could leave the door open for Cade Povich to start the season. He's got a 33.3 K- walk in 5 innings so far this spring. Cedric Mullins is back at leadoff this spring. He's been swapping with Jackson Holiday as the leadoff hitter, with Gunnar Henderson out. Kobe Mayo, by the way, has been getting first base reps rather than third base reps this spring. And Adley Rutschman looks back on track after the terrible second half last year from the injury. I think that all of that bad second half was injury related, so maybe we can just throw all that out of the window when it comes to Adley Rutschman. Boston Red Sox, Christian Campbell has been getting more reps in left field than at second base this spring, so something to note. He's also been getting more reps with the B squad than the A squad. So I don't know. I don't know if he breaks camp, guys. I really hope he does. I love Christian Campbell, but I don't know when to watch. Garrett Crochet, 14 Ks and 5 walks in 6 and the third innings. That's insane. 14 Ks in 6 innings. Chicago Cubs, Matt Shaw has been hitting 5th pretty much every day, with Dansby Swanson hitting 6th, so that's pretty interesting. I thought Swanson would be hitting ahead of the rookie Shaw. Honestly, I thought Shaw would probably be hitting like 7th or 8th to start the season. So pretty interesting. Michael Busch and Miguel Amaya are off to strong starts this spring. Chicago White Sox, Mike Tauchman looks like he's going to end up with regular playing time in an outfield spot, and he's been hitting as high as 3rd in the lineup. Weird. Brendan Drury looks like he could be starting at 1st for the White Sox, with Miguel Vargas at 3rd and Jose Rojas at 2nd, with Chase Mydroth possibly at shortstop. Very interesting, bad infield, if I dare to say so myself. Cincinnati Reds really like Sal Stewart. He's been getting a lot of middle of the order reps with the B team. So I just know that they really like him because of where he's been hitting 3rd pretty much in the lineup. Even though 2nd and 4th are really like the prime lineup spots, right? Austin Hayes could be in for a big rebound year if he's hitting 5th. With Steer out, I don't know how long Steer's out yet. Hunter Green over at 30% K- or K rate so far this spring. Cleveland Guardians, Carlos Santana and Kyle Manzardo have rarely shared a lineup card this spring, with Santana hitting third and getting the majority of the reps on the A squad. Chase the Louder, can't catch break, hurt, of course. Really liking Gavin Williams this year. Colorado Rockies, they really want Jordan Beck to be the guy. He has been getting a lot of starts in the outfield with the A team, hitting sixth regularly. But it should be noted that Zach Veen is also been getting some reps with the A team. Not as many as Beck, but he is still getting reps there. So he could be up maybe sooner than we think. Detroit Tigers, Spencer Torkelson has started 3 out of the last 4 games, all against righties, and does look to have a regular role as a first base DH in the Tigers rotation this year. Houston Astros, all indications are that Yordan Alvarez will hit second, Yanier Diaz will hit third, Christian Walker will hit fourth. Zach DeZenzo is playing in right field. Shea Whitcomb, when I saw him, looked very, very good this spring. Could be the third baseman here. Isaac Paredes and Yanier Diaz were both locked in when I saw them in person as well. Kansas City Royals. The Royals pitchers have been dealing this spring. Cole Reagan's 31.3 K minus walk rate. Chris Bubich, 24.9 K minus walk rate. Daniel Lynch, 22.2 K minus walk. And Noah Cameron, 17.2 K minus walk. So all those guys dealing right now. You've got Lynch versus Cameron kind of as the number 5 starter right now. Michael Garcia also has been spending some time in center field this spring, which is interesting. If Isbell and Waters don't work out, because he'll be the starting center fielder, but then who covers third? I don't know. LA Angels, Christian Moore has been playing with the B team the last week more than the A team. So I think that he might just be out for the start of the season, even though he had the chance. Kevin Newman looks to be the starting shortstop until Zach Neto is back. Tim Anderson has been playing in the center field this spring, which is kind of weird. Dodgers, Tommy Edman has been playing second instead of center field in 2 of the last 3 games, which leaves more of an opening for Andy Pages to break camp. Pages and Outman have been swapping in center field. Who is playing? Who is starting? Outman versus Pages is the competition for the Dodgers center field spot, especially if Edman is going to be the starting second baseman and Kim is a super utility guy. I don't know what's going on here. Miami Marlins, Agustin Ramirez has only started in 2 of the last 6 games, even with Fortes hurt. So kind of seems unlikely he breaks camp. Griffin Conine, even though I love him, Griffin Conine has been in the top half of the lineup 3 of the last 4 games. Milwaukee Brewers, Garrett Mitchell has started just as many games as Jackson Churios, so I think Mitchell maybe will not be in a platoon. Caleb Durbin has started 9 games this spring, 5 of which at third, 4 at second base. Tyler Black has only started 3 games, 2 of which were at first base, 1 at DH. Brandon Woodruff, will he be ready? He's supposed to make his first appearance next week in a minor league game, so I guess they're trying to take it easy with him, but it should be interesting to watch. Brandon Woodruff. Minnesota Twins, Harrison Bader has been hitting first or second in the lineup 3 of the last 5 games. Trevor Larnach has hit cleanup 3 of the last 4 games, including one against a lefty. He's a lefty. He was in a platoon last year. Maybe he's not in a platoon. He faced Chris Sale in a game even. New York Mets, Jesse Winker started for the last 5 games in the top half of the lineup. All of them, by the way, one was against a lefty, Shane McClanahan. New York Yankees, Will Warren, 32.1 K minus walk rate so far this spring. Looks like he's got that number 5 job on lock, even though he is against Stroman, who obviously wants to be a starter. Oswaldo Cabrera has started 3 of the last 4 games at third base and has started all 4. One of those games was at shortstop. So Cabrera seems to be the guy at third, even though we all know Booney loves LeMahieu. Philadelphia Phillies, Alec Bohm has been hitting third most of the games that he's been playing in. Schwarber looks like he's the cleanup guy for this year, with the Phillies looking at a Trey Turner / Bryce Harper start of the lineup. Pittsburgh Pirates, Nick York is healthy and started the last three of the last 4 games, including 1 at first base. So maybe he's just filling that Spencer Horwitz void until Horwitz is ready to go. Tommy Pham has hit second or first pretty much every game this spring. San Diego Padres, Tirso Ornelas is a name that I like for this year. Has started 2 of the last 3 games. Underrated prospect here. Started 2 of the last 3 games, including playing with the A team on a split squad game on March 4th. So they had A team and B team. He played A team in the split squad game. Oscar Gonzalez has started 8 games for the Padres this spring and has a nice line despite really good BABIP luck and really no power. So I don't know. Oscar Gonzalez has always had a terrible chase rate. I don't know if I'm buying a resurgence here, but I don't know. I think they're hoping that he's like the Profar for them for this year. Even though Profar can play way more positions. Seattle Mariners, Rowdy Tellez seems to have a big role slated out for him with the Mariners this year, starting 5 of the last 6 games and all at first. So maybe Luke Raley plays in the outfield. Ben Williamson has been getting a lot of run with the A squad this last week at third base. San Francisco Giants, Landon Roop has had a fantastic spring. 35.7 K minus walk rate through 8 and third. Jung Hoo, and he's starting, not relieving. I love it because I've always been a big group guy. If you've been listening to this podcast for a long time and following my prospect stuff, you know that I have been on top of Landon Roop since forever ago. 2 years ago, he was a top 150 prospect for me. Jung Hoo Lee appears to be slated in the 3-hole for the Giants, with Adame hitting second and Chapman hitting fourth, Ramos hitting fifth. St. Louis Cardinals, Victor Scott is having another insane spring. Was the best player besides JJ Weatherholt that I've seen. I've seen 2 Cardinals games this spring. Looked electric. Lars Nootbaar, not good defensively. Jordan Walker, Nolan Gorman have both looked atrocious at the plate, even before Jordan Walker's sprinkler head injury. JJ Weatherholt, it should be telling that he's still at the big league squad. They sent Quinn Matthews down to the minors. They sent a lot of their guys down to the minors, but Victor Scott's still there, and JJ Weatherholt is still here. I think he is slated for a cup of coffee by the end of the year. They love JJ Weatherholt in St. Louis. Tampa Bay Rays, Curtis Mead having a ridiculous spring. I think that he is kind of locked in now for some part-time platooning type role with the Rays, as they always do. Maybe play second, third, first, something like that. Chandler Simpson has not been starting the last week, so I don't know if this means that he's on the outside looking in. Texas Rangers, Jock Peterson started a game at first base this week, which is really fun. Jack Leiter has had a strong spring, 24.1 K minus walk rate in 8 innings. Alejandro Osuna has started 2 of the last 4 games this spring. I think he could be a nice deep league play. Toronto Blue Jays, surprise, surprise, Dalton Varsho's back, and he's actually maybe healthy to start the season. So if you bought low on him on the injury, you win, because everyone, a few weeks ago thought that he was going to miss the first month of the season. George Springer has been regularly hitting cleanup this spring instead of at the top of the lineup. Joey Loperfido is still out, but Nathan Lukes has started 2 of the last 3 games for the Jays in outfield. It's possible Loperfido takes that spot because Lukes is like 30 years old, so it's not like he's a prospect. So Loperfido could still take that spot when he comes back. Washington Nationals, Michael Soroka is looking good. 33.3 K minus walk rate in 7 innings this spring. CJ Abrams and Dylan Cruz have been swapping the leadoff role. I think it kind of matters, because if one of them is hitting second, they're probably going to get less steals than whoever's hitting first. Juan Yepes has been playing a little bit also at outfield. So there's a little bit of fantasy juice still here with Juan Yepes playing in left field, since they traded for Nathaniel Lau. Used to be Nate Lau, and they also signed Josh Bell. So that is it for this podcast. Just quick hits so far for this spring, first half of spring. I'm going to be seeing more games. I'll let you know how the games look. And I am also going to be doing another podcast for middle infield, dynasty middle infield, this day, today, later with Raymond. All right, peace out, everybody. See you later.